Welcome to the Hideout. Tonight we have a wonderful, wonderful topic and guest. Co-contributor Dave Beaudry will be with us, and we'll be talking about the WWE Network. We're going to talk about issues, problems, complications, fucking insanity trying to get to work, and also the aspect of it being maybe the best thing that's ever happened to wrestling. Who knows? See you tonight. Welcome to the Hideout. This is Jason Bailey with my co-contributor,
Dave Beaudry.
Hello, Dave. How you doing again, sir? Well, let's get into it. It's the big conversation that we've all been waiting for. I've had requests for it. I've had people wanting me to talk about it. It's been 1 week. Let's talk about the WWE Network.
Yes, well, it's been a long time since we've discussed, Jason, and I would just like to say that the network has launched, and so far, I mean, it's had a lot of technical problems, but I think that's got to be expected to some degree. What's your personal experience been?
I went on to sign up for it very early, and I had only one real issue with the actual registering to get it, which I signed up for it. I didn't do the fucking 1 week free trial. I fucking got it, okay?
I'm cheap. I did the free trial.
I'm telling you. I'm just, I'm all in. Went on there, did the credit card, did all the shit they wanted, and it has like 3 different screens. It has something where you register an account with WWE, you pay for the fucking thing, then the confirmation. Well, I got to the payment thing, everything's going great. Confirmation kicked me the fuck out. Now I'm no longer on the website at all. Not at all.
Like blank page or what?
Oh yeah, it just kicked me out like, well, sorry fucker, you're out. And it gave me some error message, and I'm not even in the WWE like thing anymore. Their website. I go back the fuck in. I'm like, well, it must have not taken because the confirmation went. I go back in. I do the whole fucking thing again. It has my account this time.
So Jason's paid $100 for
I paid $1 billion for what you have for free. I go in, I do it again, and literally the channel's like, bitch, you've already paid for this. You don't have to pay again. I'm like, what? So then I checked my email account where it did confirm the first time that I got no confirmation that it had gone through and we were all good to go. That was my only sign-up issue. Did you have any sign-up issues?
No, I signed up later, I think in the afternoon. I was kind of, running around doing shit in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, let me try it now. So I had no issues. Now, one of the things is also, I signed up obviously on computer, which I think everyone has to.
I did. Yeah.
Now, my main method of watching is typically through the Roku. And the Roku channel was available a couple days prior to where you could at least have it on the device. If you clicked on it, it just said...
The app on the device. Same thing with PlayStation 3, which I have both.
Oh, okay.
Both. You could get the app on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you clicked on that early, it just said it will launch Monday, blah, blah, blah. So when I first signed up for it and I clicked on the Roku channel, it was not allowing me to access. And at first I was worried that my Roku was like an older version.
Yeah.
It's not the 2 or the 3.
Me too.
So I was worried that the Roku itself wasn't going to work, which was upsetting. But then, I tried again and then it signed in. The problems that I've had with it have been strictly the on-demand.
Not that they haven't started fixing it, not that it's not getting better, which we're going to get to. The sign-up issues, totally forgiven. Totally fucking forgiven. I get it. The issues that have happened when people got it, for offering a 1 week fucking free trial, not to have that shit in prime working order, that's a sin. It's a business sin. I can't believe that they would have allowed that to happen. It was very obvious the next day, 2 days, 3 days after the WWE Network launched, it was not going according to fucking plan. And that was from information coming from inside the WWE, fans. I mean, just your casual observer knew just some shit is fucked up here.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? And that's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and by the way, we're going to get to it, but they are fixing this stuff. It's all getting taken care of. So if you haven't gotten it, it's not that way now. It's getting better. It's been a week. Everything's getting better. It's all becoming accessible to a point.
It gets better. It does get better.
It really does. But the thing is that, I guess on my point of view, do you see kind of what I'm saying? Like, it was weird to see a WWE McMahon product not fucking just be stellar out the fucking gate.
Here's the thing, is I think it would be putting the cart before the horse a little bit to label the network any kind of a failure. I think it's absolutely...
I'm not, by the way.
No, I'm not saying you are. I think it's absolutely fair to say that the launch was disappointing because the issues... Not that they had issues on the first days, but that it's taken them this long to...
They did have
sort
issues
them
on the
out.
first day.
No. But I'm saying the issues on the first day are not the issue. The issues on day 5 are the issue. The issues on day 6 are the issue.
Because now you're running out of fucking time for people to decide whether they're going to keep the goddamn thing or not.
If you have an Xbox 360 and that was your main plan of watching the network, you wasted a week and you're not going to drop money on it.
If that's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if that's your introductory foray into this new way of experiencing WWE, what a fucking disappointment! Wow,
absolutely.
If that was a way for them to go, hey, let's grab them all. Wow, bad. So the thing is, in looking at it and seeing them, and WWE, I think, is doing the best that they can do under the circumstances.
Because let's not forget, this is a monstrous undertaking.
Monstrous.
It's never been done in this level in this industry before.
It's historic, not just for this industry. It's historic for TV,
television, and
period.
distribution. Yeah.
I mean, this is breaking the mold not only of wrestling. Fuck that. It's breaking the mold of entertainment consumption. And to me, it's a big deal. And I guess I'm such a, cheerleader for wrestling that I just wanted it to be... I don't care about the sign-up, like I said, but I at least want the fucking channel to go off pretty goddamn smoothly.
You want to be able to watch the channel once it launches.
And you couldn't. There was no problem with the live feed almost on any single product, any device, maybe except Xbox.
Ironically, until they actually ran their first live event, which was NXT Arrival on Thursday night. It did conk out for a couple of minutes, and it was the first time that they actually had when we say live feed, it's just stuff that they're currently streaming. NXT Arrival was a live event. It was being filmed and streamed as it was actually happening. And it did conk out for a couple of minutes, and then they got it back up.
Right.
Every single pay-per-view is going to be streaming live, so they have to get this thing down because the first streaming live pay-per-view is going to be in April with WrestleMania. Now, NXT Arrival, much smaller show. They're purposely doing it this far out so that they can work out the kinks, figure out what they need to do, streamlined and ready,
absolutely,
in advance for that event. Because they know if that event fails, if the network does not stream that event properly, if it crashes at any point during WrestleMania, then you start saying failure.
I was going to get to this a lot later, but it corresponds with what we're talking about. If
you have a plan.
I have a fucking plan, bitches. If WrestleMania 30 fucking fails on the WWE Network,
we're talking technically. Whether it's failed creatively is a whole nother story.
I already feel that 50% of that's going to fail. 75%. Just please, thank God Undertaker's involved. If it fails technically, I don't know what to say, Vince.
That's an embarrassment.
I don't know what to say. That cannot fucking fail. Out of anything that you've done before, besides the inaugural WrestleMania, nothing would be more detrimental than fucking your network not goddamn working properly because everybody simultaneously is watching WrestleMania.
The reason for people are going to sign up for $10 a month is because of WrestleMania. Because it's $10 a month with a 6-month subscription. So you're in for $60, which is what you would pay for a pay-per-view.
Exactly.
And WrestleMania is the first one out of the gate. Yeah. The reason a lot of casual fans are going to buy it, the network, is because WrestleMania is included as part of that package. So if WrestleMania fails, they have a major problem on their hands. But I also think they are well aware of that.
I think so too. That there are so many fans of fucking wrestling. It is different. It's different than football fans. It's different than baseball fans. It's different than basketball fans. Like, I'm sorry, we are fucking insane. If we love this sport, we are going to sign up for the goddamn channel on the day of, all of us simultaneously. And I think that was, therein lied a lot of the goddamn problems, because not only of the sign-up, not only of the registration, but also I don't think this company, the Major League Baseball digital group, whoever the fuck Vince is whipping to get this thing going, I don't think they expected the response, the demand that was put on them by wrestling fans simply because they're not used to this sort of fucking
But
fandom.
they should have.
And that's why I'm pissed. That's why I'm fucking pissed. Because the thing is that Vince and Stephanie should have fucking whipped them motherfuckers into shape saying, bitches, I know you think you know because you've run this thing on baseball for the last 11, 14 years, but bitches, you just do not know. You don't know the response is going to happen.
Here's what they did right, and here's where the expectations and everything I think came to fruition. The interface is incredibly simple and very, very easy to use. You know what's the schedule's mapped out. You know what's currently streaming. You know what's coming up. The on-demand library, incredibly well done as far as how easy it is to access. You can access it
once it was accessible.
Sure. Well, you could access it. The actual streaming was difficult, but you could find what
you could find what you wanted to watch. You just couldn't fucking watch it.
You can't have everything, Jason.
I know. At least I got to see the logo of the fucking pay-per-view.
And the logo looked great. Wow. But here's the thing: is you could access it by company, WCW, ECW, WWE. You could then go through by year. You could do a thing just by pay-per-view name, like Hell in a Cell, and then scroll through.
Sure.
They had a search function, which is incredibly well done. You enter in a name, Roddy Piper. You'll get pages and pages where you can go to specific matches. Not all of it worked the way it was supposed to, but you can see the infrastructure's there, and those glitches are being streamlined as far as the search goes and whatnot.
Yeah.
You see things kind of being added as the week has gone on. So first of all, as far as the interface and the actual ease of use, could not be better, I don't think, realistically. There were some things that are missing, for example, up until, I think they might have fixed this a day or two ago, where if you're watching an event and back out of it, it wouldn't remember where you were in the event. You'd have to restart the event and fast forward through.
I also think there are certain devices that it doesn't do it at all.
I think it will.
Currently.
Yeah, I think it will, and assuming it does, then I think that's going pretty well.
I'm going to talk about some potential in the future kind of thing at the very end, but what are some of the things that you have been able to be exposed to that you can watch now that are some of the gems or the things that you're like, wow, I can't believe we can fucking watch this now?
I first started watching in '89, so there were events that I haven't seen since then. So I was able to go back and I've watched like the infamous Capital Combat from 1990, the return of RoboCop. If you haven't seen that, it's amazingly awful. But there's some good matches on it, and the RoboCop shit is hilarious with Gordon Soley. Like, it's RoboCop! You know.
If you want to see some very respected human beings in our business shilling for RoboCop, go watch that. It's fucking great.
It's one of those where if you don't have proper context, it's amazingly awesome and awful at the same time.
Yeah,
but
it's a train wreck.
But watching that, the Great American Bash from '89 was like the first kind of event that I'd seen.
Sure.
And, so kind of revisiting some of those things are fun. I was watching like the big event from '86.
Yeah,
which
great.
was up in Canada.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
It really is like a sort of a Pandora's mystery fucking box right now, because you'll go on it's a week out, you'll go on WWE Network and things that they'll just appear that weren't there before. Matter of fact, functions will start to happen that weren't there.
You're seeing it grow.
So you are seeing in a week's time, as as Dave pointed out, an evolution. They are addressing things very promptly. They're figuring it the fuck out. Like I said, my disappointment, my embarrassment as to the way it was when it first came out is it's starting to be fixed. You're starting to see the evolution of the WWE Network and all the devices to where it can work correctly. And I watch it both on Roku, I watch it on PlayStation 3.
I've watched it on the Roku and on the laptop here and there.
And, and the live streaming, there's never been not any fucking problem at all. Ever. There are just some fantastic things that you're able to watch again. Now, we might talk about this later at some point in time, but you're able to see things that you haven't seen in forever, like, Over the Edge, we talked about 99 Over the Edge.
I still haven't seen it.
Exactly. And when Owen Hart died, they had literally just shelved that fucking pay-per-view. Like, you just forget that.
Now, to clarify, the event shown does not include any of that. Nor should it. That has all been edited out. You would have never, if you watched it now and you didn't know that had happened that night, you would never know it by watching that event. And that's the way that needs to be.
Absolutely. But at the same time, not that it was a great pay-per-view in any other right. It's known for being the pay-per-view that Owen Hart died in.
Yeah.
It is now available. We're able to see Chris Benoit matches again.
Right.
They're not embellished, but they're definitely on there, and they're things that we haven't been able to see for a long, long time.
ECW TV episodes. They're putting old episodes of Saturday Night's Main Event are not there yet, but they're supposed to be added soon.
Yeah.
Clash of the Champions is going to be added shortly.
Yeah.
Just pretty much look at it this way. Take some obscure thing that you love, whatever that is. There is now, pretty much the equivalent is there is now a online network that 24 hours a day is streaming content of what you love and has the entire history of what you love available on demand. So you can just go back to something from whatever year you want and find whatever it is that little thing.
And this is what I'd like to talk about also, is the fact that even though I think it was a disappointment, and no matter how the McMahons fucking spin it, I don't care how they're going to fucking spin it, it cannot be as wonderful as they wanted it to be the first week out. It can't.
If WrestleMania goes through without any problems and they have over 1 million subscribers by the end of that, I think it's a success for them.
It is. It just, the rollout certainly was not the way they wanted it to be. What is amazing about it is the potential of the network is solid. There is a lot of potential, and you can see it because there's this bare bones material making this network now that you can really see as a wrestling fan. I don't care if it's old school wrestling. They actually have a show called Old School Wrestling.
It's great. They're showing like house shows from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden TV back when they had their own
like
channel.
'84.
Yeah,
it's great. You never see that.
No, you never see it. But I mean, whether you like Bruno Sammartino era, the Hulk Hogan era, the Attitude era, the new generation era, the whatever the fuck it was that you liked about wrestling,
they have it.
They're gonna fucking have it, and they're gonna have droves and droves of that. Well, yeah,
even stuff from World Class in Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was watching, and of course, you can parental controls are on it to where you can X out anything that you feel from the Attitude Era that was just over the top that you wouldn't want your kids.
Apparently, they're bleeping and blurring a lot of stuff too, which kind of goes against their uncensored.
Well, maybe, but what I saw today, I saw an episode of SmackDown. Okay, well, like their premiere episode or something that was on UPN, they weren't blurring nothing out. Okay, and we had a bra and panties match, and you got to see. It was good. Let's just put it that way. Puppies! But you know what I mean. So
we know why Jason's watching.
The Attitude Era is back. But the thing is that if that's what you were into, holy shit, you're not just going to get to see the pay-per-views of the Attitude Era. You get to see all of it, and you can see that they're going to start adding this content little by little by little, and it's getting better. And you can see that when it comes up to, I already signed on for 6 months, and the only thing I could say is, WrestleMania better fucking work, Vince. You better make it to where it fucking streams perfectly.
That will be the test.
I mean, this is, swear to God, your fans will, I mean, the WWE Universe will go fucking nuts and want to kill you. And just reject the entire network out of spite.
Well, what will happen is there'll be a lot of demands for refunds.
A lot. So that cannot fail. But as far as the archives are going and all that, this is a new era and a wonderful, wonderful new step, both in sports and entertainment and television.
When it works, it's fantastic. So as far as the WWE Network goes, we also want to know what you think about it. So it's, leave comments below. What problems have you had?
What pain in the ass issues did you have?
What have you watched? What have you liked? What do you not like? Tell us about your thoughts about things that have been censored, things that have not been censored. Any experiences that you have, we would love to hear them. We may even respond to a few of them. So leave comments and tell us what you think.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. It's always good having you on, sir. And we'll be seeing you next time. Talking about some wonderful wrestling, grappling, pillar-to-post stuff. See you next time. You may have seen a lot of gems that we haven't even come across yet because we've been too busy watching RoboCop and Gordon Soley talking about RoboCop. Fucking Gordon Soley and Jim Ross. RoboCop! Oh my God, RoboCop's here! Can you believe it? RoboCop's been here for
Jim Ross has publicly commented about how humiliating that was for him professionally.
There is a place in heaven for you, Jim. There is a place in heaven for Jim Ross.
For so many reasons.
For so many just for putting up with the goddamn McMahons.
What about RoboCop and Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Hey, that's how the streak's gonna end!
RoboCop's gonna do it. Fuck Brock Lesnar.
That's it. Brock, you're no RoboCop, bitch. You're no RoboCop.